Are taking the floor behind us. The fans are letting them hear it, and I think we'll expect that throughout the evening. We are thrilled to have Kendrick Perkins with us tonight, the former Celtic, our teammate, our colleague, our brother. Stephen A. Smith is with his daughter at graduation.
That's awesome.
Tonight.
Congratulations to him and the family.
Family first, as always, but Big Perk's a member of the family. Michael Wilbon, Jalen Rose. I'm Mike Greenberg. All right, we're looking forward to Game 4 tonight. Let's start with our opening tip, which is brought to you by the Google Pixel. The Celtics dominated inside in Game 3, doubling up the Warriors in both paint points and second chance points. Boston, the fifth team to score twice as many points in the paint in a finals game than their opponent over the last 25 years. They're the first since the Cavs did it in 2016. They also did it against these Golden State Warriors. And there's a change of pace for the Celtics from the first two games of this series. Game 3, Boston 23 layups and dunks, shot 66% on those attempts. In the first two games of the series, they had just 25 layups and dunks combined. So they go into this trying to take the commanding 3-1 series lead. Michael Wilbon, to you, what is the most important factor for Boston to get it done tonight?
Well, I know that Bird, McHale, and Parrish are not walking through that door. Or Garnett, Ray Allen, Paul Pierce, Kendrick Perkins, and Rondo not walking through that door either. But these Celtics have not been great at home. Those Celtics I just named were great at home. So they've been 6-4 in these playoffs at home, not good enough. And there's been a lot of talk about inconsistency, up, down, on, off. Can't be that tonight if they're going to take control of this series. Here, they're going to come out, and in the first quarter, they know that the Warriors are going to try to land a first punch tonight. Golden State has to play that way. Well, can the Celtics beat them to that at home? Perk has been talking about this since October, talking about Jason Tatum when you are on this home court playing with the ferocity of all those Celtics who have their numbers on the banner above us in these rafters, Greeny. Perk is right. If you're going to seize a championship, you start that here at home and you play that way tonight and you go up 3-1, you will have control of this series.
I think the key for the Celtics tonight is the Defensive Player of the Year, Marcus Smart, because he has multiple responsibilities that are important to the team. Guarding multiple positions. You'll see him on Draymond Green and you'll see him on Steph Curry. 2 games ago, he only scored 2 points. In the previous game, he was aggressive offensively, scored over 20 points. And if Brown and Tatum can get Marcus Smart to be a 20-point scorer, along with the way they're going to lock down defensively, the Celtics have been virtually unbeatable when that happens.
I agree. And a couple of points. I love when Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown are aggressive, meaning getting to the basket, especially Jason Tatum. When you think about Jason Tatum, it's 6'10" and above for us being at the wing position. It's Kevin Durant, then it's Jason Tatum for us getting downhill. I'm not including Giannis. He's not at that wing position. And I just hate when Jason Tatum let guys off the hook. Him and Jaylen Brown has to impose their will in the paint, but also low turnovers. And a lot of the Celtics turnovers come off of them trying to make the home run pass for the assist instead of getting the hockey assist, the pass that leads to the assist.
I want to go back to the first thing you said, Michael Wilbon, and that is, I think it adds up to the Celtics need to learn how to be champions. Right? The Warriors know how to be champions. Those old Celtic teams you referenced know how to be champions. I wonder if that might have been a turning point the other night here Wednesday when Golden State made their typical third quarter run. And that is the Warriors. Jalen called them the 31st team in the NBA, is Golden State in the third quarter. And the Celtics withstood that, and they fought back, and they won the game in dominant fashion in the fourth. If they win this championship, I feel like we might look back on that as a turning point.
Greeny, you could be right, but I think we're going to look at tonight as the turning point if they do. Tonight, first quarter. I mean, you know, we may get to a third quarter in which, look, Golden State won the third quarter, as you mentioned, in Game 3, didn't win the game. But the first quarter, we have seen these playoffs characterized by one team just sort of bulldozing another team in the first quarter, leading to all these blowouts we've been seeing in the postseason. The Celtics can't afford to get into one of those deals tonight in the first quarter of this game, even if they're just even and they go into the third quarter with that. But I think tonight is going to be the turning point and the learning curve. What do we see from the Celtics as they are ready, if they're ready to try and claim another championship?
And another thing that this crowd and the Celtics have to do is continue to stymie and frustrate Draymond Green. He had 6 fouls in that game. He's points, rebounds, and assists didn't total 10. After they won, all we talked about is how Draymond Green was an irritant to Ime Udoka, to Brown, to Tatum, to Grant Williams, to everybody on their team. but that wasn't the case in the previous game. You know why? Because the Celtics matched his physicality, his intensity, and when that ball hit the floor, in particular like on the play when Steph Curry got injured, they were the first to it.
Well, Curry has looked just fine tonight, in case you are wondering. That's obviously an enormous factor here. Woj reported that Curry is good to go, and we have been watching him as he's been warming up. We'll show you some pictures. He does not look, the foot is the problem. We've not seen any indication that it is bothering him. He's not limping in any way, so that is good news no matter who you're rooting for. We continue from Boston in just a moment.
NBA Countdown is presented.
Kevin Nagani in studio, El Duncan in Boston. More from El in a moment. We are an hour and 20 minutes away from Game 4. Andrew Wiggins, he was really good. Game 4, can he match those 18 points? Maybe better three-point shooting, and of course the defensive assignment against Jason Tatum. Steph Curry needs some help. This offense needs some options outside of just Curry. Let's get our pick 6 here for tonight's NBA Finals Game 4. The Daily Wager crew has the Celtics laying 4 for the game and -2 in the first half. They got the game over as well. For player props, Jaylen Brown over 30.5 points and rebounds, along with Marcus Smart making at least 3 threes. And they're taking Steph Curry's under 38.5 combined points, assists, and rebounds. For much more, let's go courtside. Elle, take it away.
I noticed they did not put Jason Tatum on that full screen. Maybe it's been hard to sort of quantify what he's been able to do. The shot's not falling, but he's still making an impact. 25 assists for Tatum for the first 3 games of this series, his most assists in a 3-game span in his career. Can he pull it off? Can he be a facilitator and an aggressor tonight? We will certainly see as we say hello courtside from the Garden as he warms up just behind us to our Emmy Award-winning host, Malika Andrews. And I know you had an opportunity to sit down with Jason Tatum ahead of tonight's game. What sort of stood out to you about that conversation?
Well, it's interesting that you mentioned his playmaking, because I asked Jason Tatum, at what point did you start to identify as a playmaker when you came into the league primarily being known as a scorer? And he said it was Ime Udoka who really sat down with him, brought that out of him. But in our conversation, Elle, we had to start with his relationship with Jaylen Brown.
Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, they are a dynamic duo. Throws it back to Tatum. Tatum to Brown. Brown the block.
Every relationship, no matter how good, it takes some care that you have to put into it. Can you share a time that you put care into that relationship, that partnership that we're now seeing on the court blossom?
Yeah, I think throughout this season, right, the lowest point for me was when we lost to the Knicks. We were up 25 at halftime, and RJ hit a buzzer beater. And that was kind of the most frustrating. And it's impossible not to hear the noise, right, on social media, your phone and TV. We just got closer. We had talks of, we start watching film together, things that we need to do better to help each other out, to help the team, and just figure it out.
If you told me that Andrew Wiggins was outplaying Jason Tatum, I'd tell you that the Celtics don't stand a chance.
You've spoken a couple of times about the fact that this season even, you've asked yourself, am I good enough? How have you dealt with that voice within your own head?
It has been tough moments, right? Because, you hear all this talk of, can he be the best player on the championship team? Throughout the season, right, you get the new contract and, you're supposed to be the guy, and you look up and you're 3 games under 500, and it's hard. Doubt does creep into your mind a little bit. Am I good enough? Maybe I can't be, but never losing faith. Just believe in what you do, believe in the work that you put in, and it can't rain forever.
You're a parent, and your son you named after you. This might be silly, but why is he Deuce and not just Junior?
Funny enough, his name was supposed to be Jackson, Jaxxon. As soon as he was born, I looked at him. Selfishly, I was like, no, he looks like me. So I convinced her to name him Jason, as long as we came up with a nickname and figured out Deuce. Say bye. Say it louder.
Hi. He was at the game last night. You shared with me that, he went to bed when you went to bed, woke up when you woke up this morning. What do you want him to remember about this run?
Just that, it was his dad's first NBA Finals, and that I wanted him to be a part of it every step of the way, as I have throughout my entire career. I didn't know that the spotlight about us would, be what it is today when he was first born, because he is a star. So just the bond that we have and kind of growing up together as he's gotten older and throughout my career, I think it's special.
I know you've spoken about superstardom recently. I don't know, is he a bigger star around here than you?
He might be. His name holds just as much weight as mine do, especially in this building.
So a lot is going to be on Jason Tatum's shoulders as they try to string together a win after a win, Elle. That's something that has evaded them this postseason a whole lot. They have figured out how to respond after losses. Now they want to come out and be the aggressor. And for Jason Tatum, he knows it starts and ends oftentimes with him, the tone he sets. He actually credits his mom, Brandy, with the mentality that he comes into. He says, she may never shoot a bucket, but she does everything for me. And so that's who he's going to be thinking of when he's out there tonight.
Don't, Mama. You the real MVP. I might have heard that from a basketball player before. Something else to keep an eye on, Malika, when you talk about facilitating and it going through him. Jason Tatum with the Celtics, they are 18-2 when Tatum has at least